Hearts are broken. Bobby and Michael have their first fight, and who do we dial when we can't call 911? Let's talk about it.
You're tuned in to AFTERBUZZ TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, y'all? He's our 911's fire siren today, okay? All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys, to Season 2, Episode 14 of 911. This episode was entitled Broken. Today, we had everything broken. Hearts, power, everything was just out. So we're going to be talking about the power outage, Maddie and Cham, the big fire, and also the fight that just almost went down between the boys. But before we get into all of that, I would like to introduce my wonderful panelists, and we have a newbie.
Yay!
That's me. My name is Ricky Vitucci.
Oh, I'm Courtney Allen.
And you guys know I'm Porchia Carter. All right, y'all. Top thoughts for the show tonight.
Best episode of this season and potentially of
Really?
the whole show. I think, yeah.
Okay.
I am blown away by Hen. I'm blown away by her save and the way she handled that situation. I think it was dope. That was my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, it was really dope. Just watching everything happen, we kind of get the ins and out of how broken people try to heal themselves, I guess, so to speak. That's the kind of conclusion that I was trying to come to, how, you know, a lot of situations were broken. A lot of people were broken. Emotions were thrown all over the place. And not only did we have emotions thrown all over the place, like, people's lives are in for real danger while all of this is happening. So we see this big old mess of a mess on tonight. I thought it was a complete mess.
It truly was.
I thought it was a complete mess. So let's talk about it. First things first. Okay. So we get this situation. They always, you know what I hate about 911? They always show you these lovely, dovely people, this wonderful, happy family. And it's just like, I'm enjoying the moment of their love fest, but I can't be too happy for them. I'm automatically thinking in the back of my head, like, oh my God, something about to happen to them. What's about to go down? So it get a little scary, but that is how we start the show, with the family of a guy who is widowed, and he has his children. They're opening their new house. The son goes into the house. The whole block start blowing up, and lo and behold, 911 is not working. So let's just talk about this power outage for 911. Like, what would you do if 911 was not working for you?
I would have to do it on my own. I mean, if my kid was in a burning... But hold on a second. I was always taught, if you want the job done and if no one else is there to help you or do the job, you have to do it yourself. So, I don't know, if that was me, if my son, if I was that father in that situation...
And 911 ain't working.
And you call 911 and it's like, I'm sorry, this number has been disconnected. No. What do you mean it's been disconnected? This whole city is relying on you, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I would have to go in that, or find a way to go inside the building.
Yeah.
Before it got any worse.
I don't think I could sit there. I don't think I could sit there, physically watch the building burn and my kid be up in the window, or knowing that they were in there. I think I would just panic and go inside, even though I don't know what I would do when I would get in there, because I have no skills. Like, I know I would probably just, I don't know. I don't want to say I would die, but I might. But I couldn't sit there, you know? I couldn't sit there.
Yeah, a lot of people was having some sit there moments on this episode, like, because it was really nothing anybody could do. So if I... had the situation what they had, the house just started blowing up, and 911 did not pick up, I would probably have to go into. I definitely agree with y'all. Now, second question. What would you do if you see somebody in the lobby having a baby and 911 is not picking up?
Now that, I would have no clue as to what to do, except to tell her to do...
Exactly.
What you see on TV.
Which I see on TV. And apparently...
See what we learn from TV? We learn some good stuff.
It's supposed to work. But I know nothing about giving birth or pregnancy or being pregnant. So I would honestly just have to be like the motivational coach, like the positive speaker. Everything's going to be okay. Your baby's going to come out fine. It's going to be healthy. She's going to be beautiful. That's what I would just have to positively speak her through it.
Yeah. That was sweet. See, I couldn't sit there. I would run. Like, I'd be like, I can't do anything. Like, I'm not staying down here because.
Shut up. You running?
Girl, what would I do?
She
and
loves
then plus,
running
if
from
it
things.
was me, if it was me, like, I wouldn't want like a crowd watching me about to give birth. That's not something. I think it would give me anxiety. So I'm just gonna do her a favor and I'm gonna step off. I'm just.
Oh, no.
You know what? I'll keep trying 911.
Oh,
even
no.
though it
I
keeps telling
can't
me.
do anything. Like, what is me standing there gonna do?
I don't think anybody who's in any type of crisis, not even just labor, with people standing around is going to care about what people think about them at that moment. Like, they have some real excruciating pain at this point. I would probably try to help her deliver her baby. I'm CPR certified, okay?
Oh,
so there
see,
you
you
go.
have skills.
I got
don't have
CPR
those skills.
certified. Look, they ain't teach us how to deliver babies. They taught us how to do compressions, how to do compressions, and how to, make sure everybody's coughing up something, coughing up. But no, for real, I would probably force my way to learn. Like, I would be pulling out my phone, all types of Google, YouTubing, how to deliver a baby. Like, I would literally try my best, the best that I can, So, granted, 911 isn't picking up, but so the power outage happens, but they get these analog phones where it's like old time, then they get these old maps, they get old everything. They get calling cards for placements, red is fire, white is police. Like, they have all of these different cute things of 20 years ago, the way that they did it, from what Maddie's boss said, how they did it 20 years ago. So they call, and the 118 gets sent to the wrong San Vicente Street. And then when they find the right one, Maddie finds it actually. When they find the right one, the 118 comes and she is at the point of birth. Ain't no taking her to the hospital at this point. So Hen delivers the baby and the woman passes out. At that moment, Hen goes into compressions, and do not back off the compressions for a whole 15 minutes. What y'all think about that?
It was really emotionally gripping because I honestly couldn't imagine being in that position, because you feel someone's life is literally in your hands.
Yeah.
And it's like, at what point, like, even though people are every show, people are like, you have to stop, like, it's over, but it really wasn't over, and we found that out.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like, at what point you're like, if I push through for 20, 30 more seconds, it could make all the difference. It's like, ugh.
I mean, I was kind of disappointed in the doctor when the doctor asked, how long has she been out for? Mm-hmm. And then he was like, 15 to 20 minutes.
And then she said, let's
and
call
then
it.
just let it go.
Yeah, I wanted to fight her.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even try anything.
Didn't try nada.
She didn't
And
try
then
anything.
it made me think about all these people that die. How did they die on the scene? Were they already gone hours before, or did they get to the hospital and the hospital say we can't do nothing?
Well, that's like my biggest thing. It's like,
It's just like, how does this really happen then? Because
Exactly.
if something happened to my mama or my family member or anybody, and we take them to the hospital and they lose their pulse, even if it's for 20 minutes, I'm gonna want you to try to do something. And she didn't try to do anything. She automatically was like, let's call it. I was disappointed too. I was right with you. Like, I wanted to fight her. Like, no, that's not how we do this. Or I don't know how it worked. Look, I don't know how it worked. But
Well,
I guess if you out for 15 minutes, that you quote unquote out of there. Like, I don't know.
And as soon as the husband came, I don't know if you guys noticed, the charge nurse turned right around. She was like, no, I'm not dealing with this. Like, she just left. And I was like, oh my
The
God.
doctor.
The doctor, as soon as
Who they were
yeah.
having come in and pull
She'd be
her
fired.
in.
She turned around.
Pull her
She was
license.
I'm not involved. I was like, dang.
pull her license.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and Hen has always said that she's one of those people. If she can do something, she's going to do it. And then not only that, she was already mad about the power outage, and she literally said, I'm not about to let somebody die over no power outage.
For
like,
sure.
over no something not being plugged in right.
I thought it was very beautiful, though, how when the father put the baby on the mother's chest, it brought the mother back to life, which
Yeah.
shows the connection between a mother and her child.
Yeah.
Like literally, the baby gave her life.
Literally.
Yeah, I've seen
How
that in a
crazy
lot
is
of
that?
shows.
Yeah.
I've seen that in a lot of shows. Like, if the baby is suffering, the mama comes touch it, the baby is revived. If the mama is suffering, the baby is on the mom. So, like, when I saw that, I was just like, wow.
And
Like-
it was like cool to see how the mother gave birth to the baby, gave the baby life, and then when the mother needed help, the baby.
Is who helped her.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's
it's like
so
full
beautiful.
It's a full circle. It's a full circle.
circle.
Full
You ever watched that
circle.
movie?
No.
Never mind. We're not speaking about movies here.
circle.
But it's like
It's
a full
okay.
circle.
I want it. I want it.
I love no. Never mind. I forgot.
You sure?
But on that note, I want to let everyone know, guys, thank you so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk.
Thank you.
And without you, there's no us. And without no us, we can't give you some amazing stuff. So, with that being said, we would love for your help. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a rating on our iTunes, and leave us a comment below. And we will always reply back to all your comments, any suggestions, any tips, any things you want to see happen. We will do so. And being a part of AFTERBUZZ TV has meant so much to me because it allows me to work on my craft and allows me to work with amazing people and give you something awesome to watch after a long day at work. So thank you so much for
Right.
supporting us.
We need it.
That.
And we love you.
We do.
Right. We
Thank
just
you.
want to be your relaxation. Also, if you are listening on iTunes, make sure you give us 5 stars. Leave us a review or a comment. Let us know what you think about the topics for tonight. Okay, for our next topic, we see all of this, Oh, first let me mention about Hen, how she revived after the mother revived.
Yes.
I couldn't go past that because like she was holding her breath almost as long as the woman had been passed out. As soon as the pulse came, she let out a breath and it was just like, oh my God, like to see her compassion for life, like so beautiful. It was absolutely amazing. So I had to mention that. So let's go to Maddie and Cham. So as we all know, the show ended 2 weeks ago with this big shebang. Cham done got stabbed up by Maddie's ex-husband. Maddie kills her ex-husband in the fight for her life. And they both made it, but they're kind of enduring some trauma. Cham is taking weeks off work. Well, he's not back into work because he's in recovery. And Maddie is not sitting it out. She goes right back into work. And they kind of have this dynamic where both of them are ignoring the situation to get to their first date. How did y'all feel about it?
I expected it from Maddie, but the thing is, she killed it when she went to work. So I think she just kind of just needed that distraction.
She's a badass.
I
She
understand that.
always kills it
Yeah.
at that job.
Yeah, but she was like extra on her game. Like she was catching all the details, like everything. I was like, get it, girl. But then Chimney, I'm glad. Well, when he jumped on the table and was like, yes, I did it. You're welcome. He was obviously still recovering. Like he couldn't even barely move. But the fact that he was still like sitting there cracking jokes, he made that Marie Kondo tidying up reference. Does this spark joy? Like I was like, okay, typical Chimney. He's back. He's happy. Like he's still suffering with the wound, but he's still cracking jokes. I love that. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
I think he's the best one on the whole show.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Depth of
He survived death so many times.
Agreed.
But like, besides his character, but him as an actor,
Yeah.
I mean, his depth is just, we've seen it just evolve so much.
Yeah.
Right?
He used to be scary.
Well, he used
He
to
used
be,
to be
the chump.
quiet and the one that's not in the limelight, and now he is even saving their lives while he's not on duty.
yes.
He's the MVP.
The real MVP. I
the
wonder if
MVP.
they know. He probably gonna let them know. Like when they all like have their briefing, I guess they debrief of how it all went down. The 217 gonna tell them that Chim made a call. It just, Chim was the one who caught them over there because they
Yeah.
didn't know what was going
Yeah.
on. He literally saved the day.
And lives.
He saved the whole day.
Yeah.
So outside of him saving the day, because we're going to get to that, Chim and Maddie Maddie is having this thing where she doesn't know where to take him on the first date because, she's all flustered with work. And then not only that, the whole situation is still, boggling down her mind. They come together, towards the end, and they have dinner over pasta, which they both do not seem to be enjoying.
Because it's cooked poorly.
Yeah, and so definitely. Maddie is in therapy, so she's letting out her emotions. She's talking about it. She's letting Cham know, I guess, what she talks about in therapy, how he really feels about it. And then Cham is kind of, giving her his side too. They're both being very open and vulnerable with each other, and then they just decide to take a minute. What are your thoughts on them taking a minute?
I think it was a good call.
Yeah.
I think it was a very good call on the fact that I feel like they both believe that this could go somewhere pretty cool. But at this point in their lives, considering what just happened, it's best to not rush into it.
Yeah.
And I've actually learned this from personal experiences.
Tell us the story. Make it good.
I know. I'm like,
make it good, Ricky.
It's a love story.
I'll make a long story short. I was dating someone for some period of time, and we were very fond of each other. She met my mother, and blah 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 blah, and then she wound up going on The Bachelor.
Wow, what a mood killer.
What a mood killer.
Did she tell you she was going?
She didn't tell me until 2 weeks before.
Wow.
So, but we came to terms that this is not gonna work out right now. We both have to go separate ways.
I don't want.
It's not gonna. Well, now it's not gonna work. Period.
Blindsided.
Because
What?
now it's not gonna work. Period. But
Did she win?
no.
I was
Okay.
gonna ask. I didn't want.
No.
I didn't
Okay, go ahead. Go. Keep going. Keep going.
But it's enough of me. I'm talking about the show now.
No, for real.
I just think that I think it was a very smart call. I think both of them need some time to really figure things out and heal with themselves, because we all know if you're not healed with yourself, or if you don't really know yourself, and you can't give to another person. Smart call.
At this point, they're still each other's triggers, and because she was
Yeah.
saying, whenever I
like
see
that.
you, so it's if you can't even be around somebody if you're still triggered by a tragedy
Right.
or a situation that you've been
By
going
trauma.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a good call, because I think that if they would have kept going, it wouldn't have.
It would have been worse.
Yeah, it would have ended.
Yeah, she
and there would have
couldn't
been no
even
chance.
think of a date, and her boss kept telling her, you moving really fast. You sure you don't want to take 3 weeks off? And then, even Buck sat down with her hey, let's find an apartment together. And she I want to live on my own in my own place. And he nah, you cannot want to move back at your place. And she yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll go back home. But lo and behold, we get this conversation with Cham, and she just when I see my front door, I hate it because I see you lying there. And it's just dang, she really hasn't, fully healed from the situation. And granted, we don't know. They didn't give us 5 months later. They didn't give us one of those type of things. So we don't know how long it's been since it happened, but we know that it's been long enough for her to have therapy sessions. It's been long enough for Cham who was dang near death, to be out of the hospital in recovery.
And
we know that
standing
it's
up.
been a while. So I full on agree with her boss when he said, you can't heal from your wounds if you pretend that they're not there. Mm-hmm. And she was not pretending, but she was just racing over it. And like I said, I said this before on this show, two broken pieces, when they try to come together, they just gonna get stuck because they don't fit.
Yeah.
And even though these two people may have love for each other, you do need to take time to qualify the relationship and the different aspects of what y'all could possibly have if y'all come together as a whole, healed wholes.
Well said. Well said, sis.
No, for real. I just, I felt really strongly on that, because so many, not even just with trauma, so many broken people try to mash themselves into relationships that will never work. Whether it be timing, or they're not equally yoked, or this person is just not a great fit, or they're disrespectful or abusive. It's not going to work if both of you or one of you is broken.
That is
So
true.
yeah. Well, Cham lets her know that this is not goodbye. This is Let's Have a Minute. And she gives him a teary-eyed kiss, and they go their separate ways.
Which they really didn't want to.
They didn't.
They had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Maddie doesn't think that
I just had a real heartfelt moment about that.
I don't think she thinks that they're going to get back together. I think that she thinks it's over, even though he was saying just for now. But just the way she was looking at him.
Well, she said that what we were going to be, we can never get back. Like what was about to happen is never going to come back. And I think they just have to go into, even if they do come back, whether it be a year or two from now or however long they take, I think they just have to not try to get what was going to be back and focus on this new journey in their wholeness.
They definitely have to just use this. And look, there's obviously chemistry between the both of them. The both of them love each other very dearly.
Yeah.
I don't think that they should allow this to be the crutch in the long-term goal between the two of them. Mm-hmm. They should use this as, we got through this.
Yeah.
Like, we got through this. This is literally this is the foundation for a relationship.
Yes.
If you could get through something like this, you could literally conquer anything.
Yeah.
What a story to tell.
Right? At your
To
wedding?
their kids.
To the kids?
Their kids.
Okay.
To your grandchildren?
Okay, we ready. We ready to hear this, okay?
Mixed babies.
Okay?
He's a
Shout out
fan.
to Chim making mixed babies with Maddie. And shout out to Chim for the MVP. Let's talk about the big fire at the end. They have this, Chim lets them know that, hey, 118, the people, they on their way, ain't nobody there. We need somebody to save them because obviously the news beat them there. Hey, news. And the boy is still in the house. Alex, I'm talking about the boy. Alex is still in the house. His dad and his sister, they're freaking out. And the 118 gets there and a lot transpires in this couple of seconds. We get Buck. Now, granted, on the way there, they were talking about how, they basically need, funds for the team, the fire station. Everything is falling apart. Because he mentioned they're falling apart, they let out the ladder for Buck to climb up. Ladder breaks, Bucks fall down. And it's just like, how? As a fire team, how do y'all let the ladder break?
How does it break? He's not even heavy. That's a steel ladder.
It would
A
happen to
steel
Buck.
ladder.
I'm like, wait, how did that even happen?
I was upset because it's just like, as a fire department, you guys know that you're going to be saving people. So y'all need to have y'all equipment intact.
Inspect it before it goes out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know how that even...
Like, we not holding stuff on with bubblegum around here. that ain't going to hold us together.
I guarantee
Chim
you.
fell.
I,
But Eddie, he plays Spider-Man. And he climbs
God.
up the whole house. He wraps his little wires or ropes around the chimney and he breaks through the window and saves this boy life. Literally covered him when the 217 come and drop these tons of water. Like, I ain't never seen a fire plane. I ain't never seen a fire plane that just come and rescue today with 2 tons of water and everything out. What did y'all think in that moment?
I thought it was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely
That's
brilliant
why Chim
idea.
caught them. He knew what was up.
And I have a pretty cool fact. So those tankers, they're called super tankers.
Okay.
And
Like super soakers.
like super soakers, except
Way
magnified.
more.
Okay.
So basically, the Forest Service. So they basically are helped run by the Forest Service in the event that
They
there's
be watering
a
the fire?
fire in
In the forest.
the woods, right?
Got it.
So those things carry up to 19,000 gallons of water at a time.
Whoa.
19,000.
19,000 gallons of water at a time in that tanker. A super tanker.
amazing.
Right?
Super dope. That's why everybody was drenched.
Well, that's why Bobby was like underneath all the
Yeah.
cars because
Yeah.
that's just gonna blow you away.
I didn't think it was
Yeah,
gonna
he
be
like that. He like that water gonna follow you. It's gonna break your neck. That's what he
It's
basically
literally gonna
said.
kill you. Yeah.
It's gonna take you up out of here, okay?
Yeah, wow.
And then Eddie knew what was up too, so he covers the boy, and he saved his life. And that was a beautiful moment. And to see the boy come out there unconscious and him take one compression and he back, it was a lot for me because I knew he was going to act up or just not act up, but just be emotional had it not worked out that way.
What a man.
Yeah.
That was so attractive to me to see him get up in there and get. Ugh.
That's what I would have done. I said that in the beginning. I would have been
You
very
know what he
attractive.
said that I love so
I would have been
much?
very attractive.
Our hero.
Oh, my
Prince Charming.
beautiful husband going in to save our son.
Good night. What really, touched my heart was when he came out and, Buck was like, because Buck was already mad that he did it. Acting like a kid. Already mad that he did it because
well,
he just like, right.
He yelled at me.
He's literally 5 years
Cut
old.
it out.
I literally said it. You're a 5-year-old. Grow up, please.
He was so upset. So when Eddie comes out, he's just like, well, how'd you do it? And then Eddie was like, I don't know. I was just praying the whole time. And I salute Eddie for that because praying is how I get through my life, okay? Look, sometimes I don't know, but that's how it happened a lot of time, okay? So I reason with Eddie. So we, don't really have the perfect Queen Bassett moment this episode, but let's just go ahead and give a shout out to the Queen. This is our Queen Bassett moment. This is our first episode not seeing Athena as much. And for those of you who don't know, our Queen Bassett moment is when we talk all things Athena, played by Angela Bassett, who is so amazing that we gave her own portion of the show. So she kind of show up just a little bit,
She had to.
She had a little appearance when, she's watching Harry at the fire station with him and his classmates. And then, she comes home at the end. What I did like is when she showed like what any other mother would show in that moment of when their child does something sweet and special for them. She showed that she knew what was up. Like, you done did something. She literally looked at Harry and was like, what did you do? I'm like, yes, all hail to the Queen. So did y'all have anything y'all want to say about the Queen today?
No, I just think, sometimes the Queen... Like even LeBron James steps out of the spotlight for a second to let his team do what his team has to do.
Yeah,
she's just taking a break. She's like, "Yo, I'm just gonna pass it off to like freaking everyone."
Right?
Yeah, but she's so amazing.
Love her.
Not only is she amazing in this episode, her men, baby father and her fiance, they get into a mess is what you would call it. A mess that was rekindled in the end. Let's talk about it. Michael is low-key jealous of Bobby.
I was so annoyed at Michael when he first stepped to Bobby. Mad. I was like, he did not do anything wrong. Understandable. And then make me realize that you don't grow out of the jealousy phase. I feel like it literally goes from like partners and guys and girls to your kids. And I can't imagine what that would be like, feeling like someone's trying to take my place or my kid likes someone more than me. I would turn into like a high schooler.
But then I feel like that shows you lack the confidence. Like that's your son.
Yeah.
I would never, if I know the relationship between me and my son, and let's just say things didn't like work out between me and my wife, and I saw my son was getting along and thought that the new boyfriend or father was cool. My son liked him. I don't think, honestly, I haven't been in those shoes, and I hope to never be in those shoes. But I don't think I would be upset towards. I may feel something like, oh, like, man, okay, but like I would never take it out on the guy, especially if the guy hasn't done anything, right? I don't know. I just feel like Michael just showed his insecurity.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was definitely him coming from a broken place doing this. Granted, the name of the show is Broken Tonight. So I think he, took the brokenness that he had inside of him and portrayed it on Michael. But granted, we see that within the conversation that happens after they have this big falling out. But within the falling out, he fell out with him because, it's hard for you to see a comparison with your kids. It's not only jealousy, but it's the fact that he literally watched Harry say, you know, he is the coolest guy in the world. Like, Bobby is the coolest guy in the world, and he saved all these millions of people for the earthquake. He saved hundreds of people, and all we did was pass out waters.
Yeah.
When you get a comparison with your kids, when they're comparing you to another person, it's like, nah. You ain't about to be talking about me like that, and I'm you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I get where Michael could come from in his envy in that moment. But then he, you know, Harry didn't say that his dad wasn't enough for him.
Yeah.
Harry didn't say that, you know, he didn't like his dad. He liked his new dad better. He literally just said his new dad was the coolest person in the world. He does love his dad, of course. But, you know, he was just having a moment because Bobby was the topic of discussion. He never said that, I think my dad is horrible because all we did was pass out waters, or he's not as good as Bobby. Like, it was never a comparison or a competition between the two. And I think Michael, hearing that, you know, went on it like it was a competition.
I feel like it sparked another side to Michael.
Yeah.
He is no longer together with his wife because he's gay.
It's his fault.
And I thought
but
about
because
that as well.
Okay.
Right.
He's like doesn't feel like as
Like,
manly.
Yeah.
Right.
because
I
he's
never
dating a man.
would have,
He's broken.
like, I never would have expected Bobby and Michael to be cool. The fact that they are cool is what kind of shocks me the most. Not
Why?
only are they cool, I mean,
This is what we were talking about last week. We were like, everything's going great between the two of them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have expected them to be cool because it's usually never really cool. It's usually never really cool in those instances when there's a family and, you know, the other guy has come and stepped in and you still there all the time too. Like, that ain't never worked out. I've never seen it work out in any of my personal preference, like any of my personal relationships.
But has any of your
Relax.
personal relationships happened like how they happened when the husband or the wife was gay and left because of that?
Well, no, it didn't happen that way. But still, even the fact of it not happening like that, regardless of if I'm gay or not, another woman comes in with my children, I'm always going to be all up in the mix. And if the one wrong thing she said, I'm going to be like, nah, girl, like, this ain't that. You know what I'm saying? I'm already, like, that is just how we've been, I guess, from the culture I come from, that has what's been happening, okay? Granted, we don't see the stepdad figure in a lot of lives, whatever, but we always get the stepmama thing, and the stepmama thing is just never a good thing. Like, I even have my own personal experience with the stepmama thing, and it was not it, okay? Not
Don't cross
it.
those lines. It's like marking your territory, and if you cross that line, like, we need to talk about how things are gonna go. Although in this situation, Bobby didn't do anything, but I do understand why Michael comes in like
but
that.
even the first, but Michael, that's why I was surprised. That's my surprise. But I was just explaining that. But when Michael first met him, you know, Athena was not about to introduce him to them, the family, the kids, nothing. And Michael was the one who came out like, hey, the kids want to meet you. What's up? Hey, I'm Michael. You know, he was already welcoming to him, and then they blend together well as a family. And I think it helps with the fact that Michael is gay, because now he don't get jealous when Bobby and Athena all up on each other. Like, he's not about to get jealous when they have a, you know, family dinner time, because he just like, I have my family dinner time with the kids and Glenn, you know. Now, granted, he left Athena for Glenn, and now him and Glenn are broken up. So they kind of have this reconciliation moment with Michael coming to talk to Bobby and apologize and let him know where he was coming from, and they hash it out. What do y'all think about the hash out as opposed to the friction of how it went down?
I think that the fact that Michael even opened up and told Bobby that him and Glenn broke up, he was the very first person. I felt like that was such a bro moment. And I thought that was special that he was able to even share it with him, because he's like, look, I know I kind of messed up, but this is what's happening in my life, and this is why things are kind of like raveling out of control. So I think that was a good, like, even ground to come to, and that just like kind of settled everything, I feel like.
It was a very mature moment for the both
Very
of them.
mature.
Very mature. That's what you gotta do, fellas. If you ever have any problems, just speak to the other person about it. Don't react.
Even though he did it first, but he learned.
He learned, yeah.
Yeah, the conversation really, threw me in for a loop because both of them were being completely honest. Michael let him know that, hey, I was jealous when Harry said what he said. But not only that, like, he always run into you whenever, when we had a fight, he ran to you, and I don't feel comfortable with that. And then Bobby let him know he only ran to me because I'm not his daddy. And I treat him like a friend because at the end of the day, one day your kid's going to tell me, like, you can't tell me this because you ain't my daddy, and he don't want to feel that hurt. So he has this, both of them are having this thing where they're coming to terms with where they stand as far as their parenting and then their step parenting and then the whole co-parenting thing with the children, and they make amends over ice cream and pie. And I think that is so like, I won't call it feminine, but it's like a woman thing. When somebody getting over a breakup, somebody, they offer you ice cream. You want ice cream? You want some cake? You want a cupcake? Like, just giving you all the sweets, thinking that that's going to help you with your breakup depression. So with them having this moment, I felt that Michael was more of a man in this moment than he's ever shown to be. And although we do fall and we do act out of brokenness, we grow up and we get back up, type of thing.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good way to wrap up the title together, Broken.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the show. Like, that was their brokenness. A lot of it was mended, and now we got a little bit of peace, love, and happiness. Now, I can't wait till Michael actually tell Athena the truth about how he went in on Bobby, or at least they talk about the situation, because I thought Athena was going to find out before, Michael apologized. Him apologizing, that took me for a turn because I didn't know he was going to do that. Like, what?
I honestly don't think Athena's ever going to know.
I hope she doesn't. I hope they don't say. I think that should stay.
I think she has to know. She has to know because these are the fathers of her children, and any mishap that goes on with somebody that I'm with, that I'm about to marry, I need to know so that I can know the next time it happens where it stemmed from, because
I see what you're saying.
That could build off of that.
For sure.
Their next fight, this was their first fight. We don't know if they're ever going to argue again.
True.
That something else could happen, and Michael could say like, "Oh, you treated me like last time," or Bobby could say like, "I told you about this already," and the thing like, "What?
Yeah.
Why y'all didn't talk to me about it?" Like, no, she needs to know. They need to include her in the conversation so that she knows what's going on between them two, so that she knows how to navigate when it happens again.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Good call.
All right, guys. So predictions for the next episode.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So tough.
I just want Maddie to chill out. Cham need to chill out. Hopefully he gets back to work. I don't have any major predictions because I honestly can't see where this next episode's going to take us.
I have no idea.
So I watched the previews, and I did not like the previews, but I can tell you that there's some stuff about to go down with him I'm going to be upset with once yet and again, but prayers are always up for my girl. We love her with all our heart, okay?
Next week's going to be hard for her.
It's going to be real hard, but we're going to push through, okay? So until next time, why don't y'all tell them where they can find you?
You can find me at Ricky Vitucci on all social media handles.
You guys can find me at Courtney Allen.
And thank y'all so much for watching. We'll be right here again next week. Until then, I'm Porchia Carter. You can find me on all social media at Porchia Carter. We out.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.